Hey, this is Steve Fisher with Network Solutions and our small business community blogs here, and I'm here in gorgeous Chicago. It's awesome, and because of the light, we're standing against the wall when I'm talking to the very irrepressible and very, very, very good speaker and charming guy, David Bullock. And David just did he's what we call a profit engineer. We call him, and I'd love him to get into what that means. But he also just put out a book with Brent Leary called Barack 2.0, which you all should check out. But David, so tell us what you do as being a profit engineer.
A profit engineer, that means I look at your processes, I look at your business as a totality, SEO, pay-per-click, social media, the way your site is set up, your site design, the backlink structure. We look at everything on your site because your site is not just the site, it's how the site works in the system that is already there in the internet and in the rest of the world. And we look at all those systems and we make sure that they're actually profitable and they're tracked and you have metrics in place. So profit engineer is where that whole term comes from. Engineering your site to be profitable from a sales standpoint.
So do you actually get into just helping them also do the design? You have a whole team of people behind you that they want to engage you, so you not just the analysis but also the execution as well.
Keyword research team, article dissemination team, a writing team, I have a set of designers, usability specialists, the whole bit. So we can basically go from idea fully into the site, and we do makeovers, assessments, and that type of thing.
And you work from the solo entrepreneur all the way to the big businesses, right?
We worked both levels. We've gone from the guy who has selling a bottle of vitamins all the way up to a Fortune 500 company.
Are there anything that people usually fail at a lot of times when they first launch their website, or are they just going to try and do it or themselves?
Yeah, that's the whole thing, trying to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Most people want designers. You can pick up a good template, you can modify those templates, but typically if you're going to create a website, well, you need a little bit of help. It has to look a certain way, it has to have a certain vibe, and that comes from a designer. Typically a designer, the business owner, the salespeople, usually you're trying to hold all these hats at the same time. It's not necessary. One of the things I find business owners don't do is get the help that they need up front. If you don't know how to do something, get help. Because getting it done correctly the first time versus you trying to do it, learn it, and never getting it done at all are two different worlds. So a lot of times things need to get done. You try it, it doesn't look right. You're never going to critique yourself, so you leave it up there, and it never gets done. So what I encourage people to do is develop a team or at least talk to people to get things done, and you should be good to go.
So it's very much kind of the time value of money as well, because like the 4-hour work week is, I also call it outsource what you suck at.
Oh yeah.
So it's the adage, do what you do well and outsource the rest.
Exactly.
And, or find the experts, that is, that can do the rest.
Or find someone who at least has the criteria that you can use to get stuff done. Just case in point, a friend of mine had a shopping cart that she spent too much trying to get worked. It never worked. So she called me, I looked at it and said, oh, the problem is this. I put in touch with my programmer, and within 3 days it's handled. Okay? So it's not so much, when you don't know what to ask, find someone who at least knows how to ask the questions to be able to develop criteria so you can get things done.
So David, you also integrate a lot of social media, and you also took the Barack campaign as a case study early on. I'd like you to get into that and how that also turned into a book with Brent Leary. It's called Barack 2.0.
Right.
And so tell us how you kind of got started on that.
Barack 2.0, Social Media Lessons for Business is what the name of the book is. And what we did is we tracked Barack Obama's use of social media for the last over 12 months. And what we did is we documented it. So we have not only what was happening in the moment, but we also have the sequence of what was happening as it was happening. So we have data that if you didn't get it in that moment, you don't have it. So now what we've done is extracted the business lessons, and now we have an actual blueprint, both social media, offline media, traditional media, showing exactly how it all kind of synergistically work together.
Okay, so when you guys were going through writing the book, what are the things that you kind of uncovered, like as their use of it? Because this generation with millennials and Barack is the first Generation X president, and that whole use of social tools really, like you said, didn't exist a couple of years ago. It didn't really exist in the first campaign. Howard Dean did a tremendous job raising money with the web, but Facebook wasn't even invented yet.
Well, with the advent of YouTube, the advent of Twitter, and all the plethora of new sites that are coming in place, no, none of this stuff existed in '04. You had meetups, which is essentially the situation in '04. It was just coming into vogue. But to be able to look at how YouTube, or how the broadband has brought YouTube into existence the way it is, online video, the full use of multimedia, but now watch the synergy between playing something on television and then posting it on YouTube for people to see, which means they always have access to it. So there's no missing the address now. It's always available to you if you have an internet connection. I mean, so all those synergies now have come to pass here in '08, and that's what we studied, the multi-use of the media.
So, as we kind of want to wrap up, is that from this book, a lot of small businesses are either in social media, but that's actually probably a quarter of them. A lot of them still have are looking into it, have ways to go, and from that book, the lessons learned and why they should definitely check it out. Could you just give us a few top reasons, things you?
Thanks. Well, the book, first of all, it's historic. And it was gotten in the moment, so there's no hand waving, so to speak. This is what happened, how it happened, when it happened. You can see the evidence thereof. So that's number one. It's fact based. It's there. How do I say it? Again, no hand waving. It is in the moment. There's screenshots. There's live video. There's all the stuff that you would want to see, so you can actually experience what we were experiencing as we were going through it.
There's no you're presenting facts, if I may, but not opinions. It's not like hero worship or one proselytizing. It's just presentation of their process and their experiences and the evolution of the campaign in the use of the tools. Would that be fair?
Right. Here's what he did exactly. Here's how he did it. Here's what we're seeing as we're doing, and we'll say something like Twitter. Look at how he's using Twitter. Now the business application for that is boom, 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 boom. So it's very much fact-based, but there's also some very pragmatic nuggets that can be pulled out because you're getting it in the moment.
Okay. So for the entrepreneurs, I mean, what would you say what they could take from that? Is that the use of the tools or the selection of tools? Or
Well, it's all of it. It's the use of tools, selection of tools, deployment of tools, just how it all works together.
Okay. All right. Well, everyone should check out Barack 2.0. You can get it. Where is that on?
You can get it at www.barack20.com. You can also find it on Amazon. You can also find it on Barnes & Noble. Just do a search for Barack 2.0, Barack Obama's use of social media for business.
And your website, so everyone wants to check out if they want to get a profit engineer into their business, give them a hand.
Right. It's profitengineer.com. So that's PROFIT engineer.com, and then there's davidbullock.com, and there you'll find a bunch of information about what I'm working on, the blog, that type of thing, and that hub site links to all my other sites.
Well, great, I appreciate it, and thanks for spending time with us.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.